It's a magnificent venue like no other. A battleground that breeds legends. And it must be experienced to be appreciated. Bristol Motor Speedway is the last great Coliseum.
Tripping and tripping. We live and we learn. We crash and we burn. We're alone in this world. We rise and we fall. We're running from all.
It's Bristol, baby.
Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a what?
It's Wednesday night. Time for a hump day fight. 40 of iRacing's best in a carbon fiber slugfest. Esport aces, mechanical maniacs, over-the-wall weekend warriors, hometown track heroes, and even boys from the big leagues. Oh, we've got characters, all right. Strapped in the sim rig, poised to strike. We're set to battle it out each and every lap. So grab your popcorn. This is Thunderclap.
Ain't nowhere to hide. You ain't gotta see me come and keep me on your mind. Cause I be on the way. Yeah. You know I be on the way. Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on the way.
Contact forward for the lead.
He blocks checker flag, change scene right by 0.025 seconds.
It is going to be Ryan Truex.
I'm far ahead and gotta run last. But we ain't letting up, we never done that. Ain't nowhere to hide. You ain't gotta see me come and keep me on your mind. Cause I be on the way. Yeah.
They are wrecking just like that. Oh, a humongous impact.
Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on the way. Yeah. I'm on the way. On the way.
Hello and welcome everyone to Grid Vision's presentation of the Thunder Valley Showdown here at Bristol Motor Speedway. The last great Coliseum. This half-mile track has been host to some of the best battles in NASCAR history, and I expect it is going to be no different here tonight here at this racetrack. We have a lot of very talented drivers going to be making their way. Of course, qualifying still underway right now, as I do believe we have a 100-lap feature, but before that, we are going to have 25-lap heats to determine the actual running order, the starting positions there for the beginning of the feature. Of course, it looks like we have a pretty low temperature out there, I do believe low 70s, so quite a grippy racetrack these guys have to look forward to. Of course, Bristol going to require all that grip, being that 73-degree temp. Of course, clear skies, 9-mile-an-hour wind, but shouldn't affect too much around this place. Of course, this is one of the fastest short tracks in existence here of NASCAR. Well, let's actually take a quick peek at the points coming in to tonight's race here with the truck. And, of course, these are, I do believe, the overall standings. Of course, Sean Boundy up at the top of the board with 530 points. Ryan Truex now in second place with 484. So not too big of a margin there. So we could see that give or take move. A lot of these guys move around. Of course, Josh Ball is sitting in that third spot. John Freeman in fourth. Roger Diebold, he's been very impressive here lately. Got a second place finish last week. He is in fifth. Greg Vile, also very impressive in sixth place. Matt Garrett in 7th. Matt Cherry, last week's winner, of course, did a fantastic job. Is in at 8th spot. Of course, did move up, I do believe, a little bit. Of course, 9th place, Stephen Sherrick. 10th place, Mark McCrary. Greg McConey in 11th. Scott Formosa 12th. And I do believe Formosa is actually going to be starting on the pole in the first heat. So interesting to note that. 13th, Jordan Durasic. 14th, Tyler Truex. 15th, Nicholas Tomlinson. 16th, Noah Rainwater. J.D. Woodward, 17th. And, of course, 18th, Chase Leahy. I do want to take a moment as well to look at the relevant truck point. And taking a look at those, Josh Ball right now is at the top of the grid there. I do believe they've only had 3 starts in the NASCAR truck for the, of course, the Thunderclap iRacing Series, presented by TLC Incorporated. But he is at the top. Of course, Sean Boundy, who we talked about, I do believe is in the points lead. He in the overall points. He is actually in 2nd place in the truck points. Roger Diebold, who had a very good race last week, he is in 3rd place. Of course, down 2 positions, Ryan Truex, who is the only driver I think who have won in all 3 different race cars. Of course, last week we were actually in a very interesting race car. The car tomorrow at Old Atlanta. Tonight, definitely going to be taking another trip back in history here to Bristol. But 5th place, Greg McConey. 6th place, Chase Leahy. 7th, Tyler Truex. 8th, Justin Clapper. 9th, Mark McCrary. And 10th, Scott Formosa. So this could be a big night for Formosa if he's able to keep this track position. We mentioned it, 100 laps for the actual feature, 25 lap heats though. It's going to go by fairly quick, which is going to be interesting to say the least with how fast lap times around this place are. What we're seeing in qualifying right now, it's about a mid 14-second lap, but of course tire wear is going to be significant in this place. It always kind of is, so guys are really going to not want to maybe prioritize lap times in the beginning. So that's going to be definitely something to keep an eye on. But definitely excited to see what these guys have for us here. Of course, these heats are going to be exciting. I think we just have a little bit over a minute left in order for these guys to get all gridded up, in order to go head-to-head in these heats now. Of course, the track. And it looks like qualifying time is starting to run out. Of course, Scott Formosa right now is at the top of the board at the moment. Of course, I think track position is going to be very key here to tonight's race, just considering very difficult to pass here. Of course, this is a multi-lane racetrack where you can run on the top or the bottom, but it is also going to be very difficult to pass. If you're trying to pass on the bottom, it's really hard to get that run up off the corner, and of course the banking changes as well on the straightaways can a lot of times, just like Dover in a lot of ways, can cause a lot of disruptions in the balance of the race car. So got to watch out for that for sure. As I mentioned, tire wear. Bristol is a track where you can make that top line really work. But I do believe it is not allowed to actually use that wall, because I know in a lot of regards we see at a track like Bristol, guys can actually use that wall a little bit to gain a little bit more momentum, bounce off of it. But I don't even know if the new damage model will allow for that, just considering this is a first year for the iRacing, or the Thunderclap iRacing Series, is that we'll actually see the new damage model. Of course, starting in the top 10 for heat number 1, Scott Formosa on the pole position. Of course, Reed Foley in 2nd place, the 6th of Durasic in 3rd, Gosselin in the 71 in 4th, 5th place Leahy, 6th Garrett, 7th Dennis, 8th Schumann, 9th Robert Condon, and of course rounding out our 10 cars, I should say, in this heat is Steven Lashinsky. So only going to be 10 cars in this field, and I do believe that means we're probably going to have, if I'm not mistaken, 3 heats here tonight. So definitely excited to see all these guys tackle these 25 laps, and I think it's going to be kind of a advantage for these guys that are running the later heats. They're going to be able to watch this and really learn a lot from what these guys find here. Is this going to be kind of a drama-filled heat? A lot of times when we see these short track races here in Thunderclap, it seems like the early heat is the one that doesn't seem like it's as drama-filled, because a lot of the guys are a lot more cautious. But the later ones a lot crazier, I should say. We'll have to wait and see how this all plays out as everybody is rolling. And here we go. Of course, short track action. Usually these guys get about 2 laps under pacing before we do get that green flag. But those 2 pace laps will pass quite quickly here. Scott Formosa definitely showing a lot of pace in qualifying. It's going to be important, but I don't think we should really put too much importance on that short run pace. I think long run is going to be significant. Even 25 laps, it does not sound like a lot at Bristol, but it will be significant when it comes to tire wear. I expect we'll probably maybe even see a half a second to a second of fall off, even in that 25 lap period. Pace car lights are out. We're getting ready to go green flag for the first time here today. And we should be having the pace car dive out of the way here in just a few moments. Of course, this is a very interesting pit lane situation that these guys have at Bristol Motor Speedway. I don't think we'll see a whole lot of guys having to do green flag stops, just considering in the later feature we will have stages at 20 and I do believe 60. But there goes the pace car, going to be dipping down pit road as we enter the TLC restart zone. The green flag is out. Scott Formosa up through the gears already and down onto the bottom, and he has secured the lead. Looks like Reed Foley going to lose a little bit of time there, and actually going to lose the second spot to Jurassic. Now, Jurassic has been really, really fast, but has had his fair share of bad luck further back in the pack. I do believe Matt Garrett having some issues as he falls back to ninth, and I think we actually did not have the full field start. Yellow flag is out. I believe that is the 81 of Dennis having some major issues. Let's take a look back and see exactly what happened to the 81. It looks like he just got loose off of turn 4. Truck was already unbalanced entering turn 1, and wow, what a dramatic crash that was to smash into the outside wall with such force. Taking a look back at this through the cockpit camera, you see he was already unbalanced, kind of coming into 1, and all of a sudden he lost it and then overcorrected it, and that's what caused that very violent shoot up to the high side into the outside wall. And he is going to, I do believe, fall a lap down. He is on pit road at the moment, probably getting some damage repaired. And surprised the damage did not look worse than it actually is. I do believe when you hit head on with that front end, usually that is going to cause that engine to expire. But keep in mind, as I mentioned briefly earlier, we are experiencing a new damage model here for these trucks. They're a lot like what we see in the next gen now, or the ARCA car, to where you can see pieces of these trucks actually come off of the race car. We saw that last night in the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series. Guys had really big hits, and pieces of the car came off. And that's definitely something that we could see happen here at Bristol. Even though this is a short track, a half-a-mile track, these guys will hit upwards of over 100 miles an hour. And that is enough, definitely, when you hit that wall, for pieces of the truck to come off. But it looks like Dennis is now 2 laps down. Hopefully, he's going to be able to get back out here. I don't think they have a fast repair in order to be used here. Of course, this heat is timed. So if these guys do not get to the actual finish here of the conclusion of 25 laps, I do believe the heat will end early. So hopefully these guys can keep it clean and actually get all of the laps in here. And I do believe we are, I think the pace car light should have went out. And we are getting set to go back green once again here. Of course, Scott Formosa has led every lap thus far, but we have not had a lot of green flag laps. I don't even think we had really one. But we'll see if we can get some in here, and hopefully these guys can get some racing in and put on a good show for all these fans. We appreciate everybody out there tuning in to Grid Vision tonight. Definitely could spend you could do anything else on a Wednesday night, but you chose to spend it with us here. We definitely appreciate it, and of course, if you're here to watch some of your friends here in the Thunderclap series, we definitely appreciate that as well. As the green flag is back out, presented by TLC Incorporated. Reed Foley, starting on the bottom there, gets a huge run underneath Jurassic side by side for second place as they battle here. Still battling side by side. Jurassic, oh, there goes Foley sideways on the exit of turn 4. He's now down on the apron, going to lose a tremendous amount of spots, back to now 7th place. And he does recover, though, but definitely the damage is done. He has now fallen actually back to 8th place. 81 of Dennis, I should also mention, do believe is probably not going to return to the racetrack. He is now 6 laps down as Scott Formosa is in the lead. He's been turning some really fast laps. Actually, last lap, he turned his fastest lap of the race. See Jurassic. I like what I'm seeing from Jurassic. He's trying to run higher on the racetrack, see if he can't get those runs out of the corner. Also looking, I do believe, at a big battle going on here. Matt Garrett trying to work his way past Foley. Foley trying to recover as he runs up on the top side. Of course, right in front of them is Brandon Schumann, who's running very high on the racetrack. That is, of course, the battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th at the moment. And I do believe we are joined in the booth by Justin Prince. Definitely welcome, Justin.
Welcome indeed. And for those just tuning in, currently 13 laps to go in heat racing action. We make our way around Bristol Motor Speedway. Grid Vision, glad to have you with us for today's coverage. Justin Prince, Brian Britt, Austin Darbyshire with you. So far, Formosa has been dominant in this respective heat, but Jurassic's been keeping the pressure up. The battling's been on to the heart of the pack, though. Robert Condon, along with Reed Foley, continuing to fight amongst that group. You have Brandon Schumann, who also in the conversation as the caution flag is out, brought to by Eagleswood Creations, just like that with 11 to go.
Yeah, it looks like the 52 of Brandon Schumann just had an issue. As we take a replay back, I think he might have had some contact possibly with Matt Garrett. Or no, contact with the wall came down in front of Garrett, and a big hit on the inside wall, Justin.
And this is one of the tough parts about Bristol Motor Speedway, right, is with how quick things happen, it's very difficult to be able to react for incidents. But having an incident like that in this type of heat is going to be difficult, first of all. Second, here's the major thing. Just in the past day was the new iRacing bill. And this is the new damage model now for these trucks, so a lot adjusts to the new damage dynamics compared to the past.
Yeah, I kind of touched on that a little bit briefly earlier, and it seems like, yeah, these trucks are a lot more vulnerable to pieces of them actually coming off the truck. But some guys have even said they're not quite as vulnerable when it comes to actually blowing the engine. I know these trucks, historically, we've seen if you hit the front ends of them, a lot of times they just blow up. But it seems like that's not exactly the case anymore. But I'm curious. I think this is going to be a continuous learning experience as we kind of see what this new damage model all entails.
Yeah, that's going to be massive, and as some people have talked about in regards to the sim side of things, they were expecting some in terms of the pro circuit to be truck racing is back. And that's been one of the major things in the cliches is you pick up a little bit of damage, you end up going backwards with the engine performance. So that's been a major change, to say the very least, coming into tonight's action as drivers look to group themselves together and get themselves sorted throughout tonight's festivities here at Bristol.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%, Justin. I mean, we've seen that time and time again, especially, and also another thing with these trucks is the aero issue. A lot of times you even just pound the wall just a little bit. I mean, it affects the handling of the race car quite substantially here, as I do believe Scott Formosa choosing the top side here at Bristol. I like this decision. What do you think, Justin? Oh, it seems like we're having some technical difficulties with Justin. I think he's going to be taking care of his mic. He's having a little bit of some lag. Yeah, I like this call from Scott Formosa, though, choosing the top side. He should be able to get a really, really good launch once the green flag, TLC green flag comes back out here. Of course, pace car lights are still on at the moment. Jurassic, though, I would watch out for him. He has been very, very quick and has been right there matching step for step Scott Formosa as we come, I do believe, to 7 laps to go here in this heat. Pace car lights have gone out, so I do believe we're going to have ourselves a 6-lap shootout to the end. And we definitely appreciate, as I said before, everybody tuning in. If you are maybe supporting a certain driver out here in the field, make sure to put in the comments on our YouTube channel to shout them out. I mean, a lot of times they go back and watch these races, and if they see that you're giving them support, it definitely builds a lot of confidence for these drivers here as we wait for the pace car to take that left turn down pit road. We appreciate you joining us here at the last great Coliseum, Bristol Motor Speedway. And the green flag is out as they exit the TLC Incorporated restart zone, and a good start there for Formosa. But Jurassic, I'll tell you, you could sense the desperation from that 6 car as he is moving all over the track to try to find any kind of grip. He gets a good jump, big loose condition, but he's able to hold it, and now side by side for the lead. Gets tight and there he's sideways in the middle of the track. Caution is out, and what a bonsai move for Jordan Jurassic in the 6th machine as he moves from 2nd place back to 8th now. He had made a dive to try to take the lead. Just such a air of desperation here from this 6th machine as we take a look from the hood camera. And look at that, got tight underneath the 80 of Formosa. Formosa able to keep it going straight. And luckily, I don't think Jurassic got any damage really in that regard. What a move for Jurassic. You could tell how much this means to him, but a lot of times risk versus reward, and he is just taking a huge risk, and I think he just paid the price. Of course, that is brings out our Eagleswood Creations caution. I do want to give them a quick shout out. And of course, Eagleswood Creations is your one-stop shop for laser engraving from wood to acrylic, custom signs, earrings, keychains, coasters, and much, much more. Located in West Creek, New Jersey. But shipping nationwide. Items can be purchased or custom made via Etsy or through their website, eagleswoodcreations.com. Follow them today on Etsy, Facebook, and at Eagleswood Creations on Instagram. Definitely appreciate them being a big part of the Thunderclap iRacing series as they sponsor the caution flag. And we might end up having a lot of those tonight, so they're definitely going to get their representation here, as I do believe we're set for a green-white checkered finish here in heat number 1. Of course, Scott Formosa choosing once again to start from the top of the racetrack here. Pace car lights, I do believe, have gone out. So we are ready to get back racing once again. We're going to have ourselves a 2-lap shootout. This is a big opportunity, I do believe, for Leahy in the 34. Can he make something happen? Also, Matt Garrett started deep in the field. Green flag is out, presented by TLC Incorporated. Good restart there for Scott Formosa. You see Matt Garrett now fighting side by side with the 71 of Gosselin. Gosselin catches a little bit of the apron, loses momentum. He is going to fall back now to 5th place. Robert Condon is also back there in 7th, trying to fight with Brandon Schumann. Oh, there goes Gosselin into the outside wall. He gets turned. White flag is still out, though. Scott Formosa is going to win the heat number 1, as we see all kinds of pandemonium ending this heat. Of course, Scott Formosa finishes in 1st, Foley in 2nd, Schumann 3rd, Garrett, I do believe, gets 4th. No, Condon 4th, Garrett 5th, Jurassic 6th, 7th Leahy, 8th Gosselin, and 9th Dennis. So great job to Scott Formosa. He's going to be starting on the pole for the feature and has led every single lap of this heat. We should be moving on to heat number 2 very quickly. And here we are. We got the grid set for heat number 2. Of course, the 88 of McCrary is going to be starting on the pole for this race with Roger Diebold in 2nd. 3rd, J.D. Woodward. 4th, Justin Clamper. 5th, Noah Rainwater. 6th, Sean Boundy. 7th, Joshua Coroner. 8th, Montgomery in the 9. Of course, Josh Ball in 9th. Newkirk in 10th. So that is the top 10, or the 10 trucks that are going to be making their attempt here at heat number 2. Now, will this one be as dramatic? We will definitely have to wait and see. I know that there's a lot of fast drivers actually in this heat. I'm looking at Ball. Ball is very talented in these trucks, so I expect he's going to be a powerhouse. Of course, Sean Boundy, he is the points leader overall right now, and I expect he's going to be definitely trying to make some moves starting from that 6th place position. Definitely excited to see what these guys have learned from that first heat, because I know for a fact they were watching. And will this one end under a green-white checker is definitely going to be something. And it seems so difficult to pass. everyone that has tried to pass so far tonight on that bottom seems like they get very loose or tight, one of the two. It seems like guys just making bonsai moves, and a lot of times it just does not seem to work out. So we will see. Of course, the pace car lights are out. I think we're getting ready and set to go green here for the first time in heat number 2. Yet another 25 laps that we have on the docket. So these guys, McCrary, is this going to be like what we saw in heat number 1? The guy that started on the pole won that race. Now, in previous times that we have been here in Thunderclamp iRacing, I mean, at other short tracks, most of the time, and there it is, the green flag is out, presented by TLC Incorporated. What a start from Diebold. He gets a really good jump, but is not able to really take advantage of it. I think he was trying to avoid a black flag because I think he almost went ahead of McCrary, but McCrary does get clear for the lead. And it looks like we got a pretty big cluster of race cars around that 5th place position.
This is to be expected when it comes to Bristol, right, Brian? Because it's so difficult to make moves here. Once you get a few laps in, it's important for drivers to be able to settle things out. The bottom of the racetrack, though, is better long run, as we've seen for tire wear. Hence why some drivers prefer that grooving.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's definitely true. But I think a lot of these guys that are trying to make passes on the bottom have been so unsuccessful, and they are, I think, overdriving it quite a bit. We're seeing Justin Clapper. He is right now fighting side by side with the 9 of Montgomery. You see that Sean Boundy, he started in 6th place in this race, is now up to 3rd. So watch out for this 35. Oh, a little bit of contact to the back end, I do believe, of Noah Rainwater. Seeing a lot of battling right now. Justin Clapper, I think actually that was Justin Clapper that got hit in the rear end. He's up into the outside wall. Able to save it, but he now falls back to 8th place.
Yeah, Trish so expected to be critical here at this point. Still just one way approaching that halfway mark. But these two have been such dominating trucks throughout the season, and drivers when it comes to the short tracks. McCrary and Diebold. Diebold, remember, had a great chance in North Brooksboro earlier last time around. McCrary amongst those who can charge his way to the pack. We've seen several occasions long run.
Yeah, and he's all, and Diebold's really good at those tracks that require tire saving. I mean, we talk about last week, I do believe, at Old Atlanta in the Car of Tomorrow. That required a lot of tire saving, and he ran 2nd in that race. So I expect quite a lot from that 38. He's been matching that 88 step for step, and we'll have to wait and see, you know, how this works. You see McCrary's kind of going a little bit higher in the corners here. I think he might be overdriving a little bit. He gets real close to the wall. Watch out. And also we got the 1 of Ball. He started deep in the field, I do believe almost last, as he is now side by side, I do believe, with the 9 of Montgomery at the moment. Montgomery showing a lot of desperation right now to hold off Ball, but I don't think he, I think he was successful in that regard. Now Ball under fire from the 05 of Noah Rainwater.
Yeah, and here's the thing. If you can't clear a truck by the corner exit here at Bristol, it's very difficult to be able to keep along side by side several laps. It takes about a half a lap to make the pass, or rather complete a pass, but it also takes 10 laps to set it up. You lose that ability to set up a pass when you have this tight of a contact and you push your competitors in the wall.
Yeah, Noah Rainwater definitely on the bad end of that whole deal as he loses some spots, now back to 7th. Of course, Josh Ball, I mentioned it a little bit ago about the Truck Series points. He is at the top of the board, is the Truck Series points leader, so he is desperate to maintain that, as now he has to battle, I do believe, with J.D. Woodward. Of course, looking back to the front, McCrary still in the lead, holding off Diebold, as I do believe we're coming to 10 laps to go here in Heat 2.
Yeah, very intrigued if Diebold try and switch things up here. For the most part, though, Ball going to have to fight hard. So does everyone else in this matter if they want to keep their track position, because here's the thing, Woodward amongst those who is good on long runs. We've seen throughout parts of the season on short tracks. He's setting things up decently. The interesting is no one's willing to go to the bottom yet to try the tire save. That's going to be important to think about long term. to see if anyone tries to switch it up because of how much it preserves that right front tire compared to running the wall like we're seeing.
Yeah, here comes Rainwater back underneath. Look at this. Really able to rotate well through 3 and 4, but he does not get the momentum on exit. That was really well done, but unfortunately did not pay off there for him. He's running that bottom, just like you kind of were just talking about. I don't think a lot of these guys are really in the mind of tire saving during these heats, but I think it's definitely going to be an important factor when we come to that 100-lap feature later, as I do believe we have somebody down on pit road to 16 of Joshua Koerner.
Yeah, it seems like they've not been having the prettiest of runs in our lap truck already in Newkirk. But here's the thing. Around that 15 to 20 lap mark, you get to that point of a run, the bottom is actually quicker than it is to run at the top because you have so much better cut and rotation because you've been able to cool down that right front tire compared to how much you're burning that tire up by running the top. The thing is, some drivers actually prefer the middle of the track, if that makes sense. That middle of the progressive banking here that's on this version of Bristol Motor Speedway, where you have the right side tires getting the benefit of the top line, but those bottom tires also getting that rotationary period that helps the tire conservation.
Tell you what, you can see Josh Ball is being very, very aggressive. He is all over the back of the 9, running all the way up at the fence. Love what I'm seeing here from Ball. He is definitely putting on quite a show. I'll tell you what, though, looking back, oh, there goes Montgomery into the outside wall. Oh, 0-5 of Nail Rainwater head first right into the wall. And that is going to bring out our Eagleswood Creations caution flag and cause a green-white checkered finish for heat number 2 as we take a look at the replay.
You kind of see that happening with a little bit of the sliding there. Just try to complete the slide job. The slide job was not clear, and JD Woodworth just completed the job.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely, this is a track of risk versus reward. And unfortunately, Rainwater tried to put a lot of risk there, and unfortunately, he paid the price. If you take a look on board with Woodward, boom, look at that. Big hit on the front end of Rainwater.
Yeah, and for Woodward, you can already see with the new damage model, some of that rotation just at the corner affected. I think I might have seen the right front actually wobbling a bit because of that contact. Rainwater definitely got a blunt to that. But now it's the question, how does this play out to close this heat? Because essentially, green-white checkered up on the board once again.
This is interesting, and you see that no one has come down pit road. There are about 25 laps on their equipment, and most of this race, or this heat, has been green. So if these guys decide to stay out like I think that they are, we're going to probably see some wheel spin out here, Justin.
You know something, though? Montgomery, I think, is going to be the intriguing one in this because you have Woodward amongst those staying out with the damage. There's a chance Montgomery on the first tires at least gets 1 or 2 spots here on the restart. You're not going to win the heat by taking tires here. But you can at least get yourself a better starting spot for the feature and pass more trucks here.
Yeah, we actually did see a couple come down pit road. Yeah, like you mentioned, I think Clapper might have came down, as well as Montgomery. So that's very interesting indeed to see that. We'll have to wait and see how this all plays out. I mean, yeah, I think you're right that it's going to be very difficult to pass even on newer tires. But if these guys have some wheel spin or some unfortunate things happen during the restart, then that could also play well for those guys that are on newer tires. They're going to have better maneuverability to avoid the obstacles.
Yeah, but you don't want to obviously be in the obstacle situation because as we see in the last heat, about half the field wrecked on the final lap. Do you want to have to dodge half the field wrecking on the final lap? No, you do not. But then again, this is Bristol. It is a track where 24 trucks can wreck in 1 lap, let alone 4.
Yeah, I mean, I've always kind of characterized this place as like the super speedway of short tracks. I mean, it really is just so fast, and things happen so quickly at this racetrack, and it's so hard to avoid them. And if you do avoid them, you feel like you hit the lottery, but if you don't, then you feel the exact opposite of that.
Yeah, I'm very curious, though, how this played out with McCrary because he's dominated much the way. As long as he clears, I think by turn 1, he's solid because he can then shut the door on D-Bolt, prevent him from being able to try and get the crossover up or try and get the run on the outside and peel him off the wall. The difficult part in that, though, is he can't have any tire spin, obviously. And with how many laps we put on the tires, that's not going to be easy whatsoever with how quick of the response you need to have in through the pedals and through the gears you have to have here.
I'm surprised that McCrary didn't try to choose the top like what we saw in that last heat. I think that would be a very good way to avoid having the wheel spin. And if you do have wheel spin, you're right up there at the wall. Because if you're on the bottom, oh, there goes the green flag. TLC green flag out.
Yep, there it is on that setup. There's that setup, exactly what it talked about. Be able to shut the door, but keep an eye on Montgomery. He's already trying to make at least 2 moves.
Yeah, he's got a lot of speed, rocking around around the top, getting by Sean Bounty, and that is no easy feat indeed. As we got the 63 of Justin Clapper around. Of course, the white flag is out. And I do believe McCrary will cross the line as your Heat 2 winner.
Very well done and very dominated when it comes to McCrary's pace.
100%. Of course, Roger Diebold in second place. Josh Ball up to third. Montgomery fourth. Boundy fifth. Woodward sixth. Clapper seventh. I'm sorry, actually, Noah Rainwater seventh. Clapper eighth. Ninth, Coer. And, of course, definitely a rough day for some of those drivers as we start Heat 3, Justin.
We'll see how things fare out with James Seawright leading the way. Ryan Truex in second. Greg Vile coming off a strong run last time out in Thunderclump action in third. At Cherry, at Lee Burleson, along with Greg McConey, TJ Lee, along with Neeson and Freeman rounding out the field. Going to be intriguing to see Freeman towards the back of this heat order, expecting him to move up to the pack.
Yeah, he's always one that we got to keep an eye on. I mean, he a lot of times starts deep in the field and somehow finds his way up towards the front. Also watch Matt Cherry. I mean, he's coming off of a win last week at Atlanta, Old Atlanta in the car tomorrow. So these trucks are a lot easier to drive. I say that car tomorrow is. So I think he should do well. Of course, Ryan Truex, watch out for him. He did not, I do believe, race last week in the car tomorrow. So he's going to be expecting, I think, to try to see if he can't recover some of those lost points. Seawright choosing the top here on the initial green flag.
And that's a choice, to say the least. But again, we've seen how dominant the top line can be here on this racetrack. So it's not a surprise from Seawright to be able to immediately power his way around the outside. The thing is, I'm amongst those thinking Truex would be one of those who would think about the long-term picture, play that bottom of the racetrack, and slowly eat into the gap rather than charge the top. We'll have to see how this plays out, though, for the green.
Yeah, I definitely think you're right. Truex has that real-life experience. Like I know a lot of other guys out here as well do, but I think that he's definitely going to be one that's going to utilize that wisdom that he's gained from his real-life experience. We'll have to wait and see how that all plays out here as we get ready to have the pace car dip down pit road. And there is the green flag as they exit the TLC restart zone. Big restart, or big start for Ryan Truex. Seawright is able to get clear for the lead. Oh, Truex not able to maintain the momentum, loses the spot to Matt Cherry. Cherry's around in the front of the field here. McConey able to lay the brakes down and avoid him. Caution flag is out. Sponsored by Eagles Wood Creation.
Well, that came by quickly, didn't it? To say the very least. Something about Bristol again. You end up with your opportunity, boom. You just spin around on the cold tires.
100%, Mr. Robotic Justin. That is unfortunate. Hopefully he gets that all cleared up for sure, but that was a tragic mistake there from Matt Cherry. What a move there on the start to really be able to take that spot from Ryan Truex. I wonder, can we take a replay, see what happened there to Matt Cherry? Did he get help? Didn't really get a good look at it. I was distracted by Robotic Justin. And taking a look back here, we see, of course, Matt Cherry getting clear. Let's see, yeah, he just got loose all on his own. I think he was carrying too much speed into that corner. unfortunate for him, and really fortunate, though, for Greg McConey. Really laid on the brakes just in time to avoid that. As we prepare to go green flag once again, of course, all 3 heats has featured some sort of a caution. So I expect we might see more here. Seawright at the moment in the lead. As we take a look, I do believe, through the eyes of Greg McConey. Very heads-up driving from this driver. Look at this. I mean, I would have thought I was dead right there. I mean, he had such perfect reaction to that, laying on the brakes just in time, because he was coming up on him so fast. That could have easily took him out of the race, but he is going to be restarting, I do believe, in the 5th place position. Definitely a good job to that driver here as we wait for the pace car lights to come or go back out. Of course, James Seawright going to be leading the way. This is going to be another chance for Ryan Truex. He had a really good restart, but it just seems like it's very difficult to pass here. I just don't know what a guy like Ryan Truex can do in order to get by Seawright. He has to make, I think Seawright has to make a mistake. That's the only way, I think. Of course, the pace car lights have gone out as we prepare to go back green here for our 2nd restart in heat number 3. If you're just joining us, we appreciate you joining us here on Grid Vision as we present the Thunder Valley Showdown at Bristol Motor Speedway. Of course, stick with us. I do believe after this heat, I think we're going to have us a LCQ and then a feature race to see who's going to come home with all the marbles, who's going to get the victory. Pace car has dipped down pit road as we enter the TLC restart zone. Green flag is back out in the air. Good restart there for James Seawright. Able to get clear of Ryan Truex. Big start as well from Greg Vile. He's going to be catching up to Ryan Truex quite quickly. You also see Greg McConey. He lost a spot there. Falls back to, I do believe, 6th place. Side by side, though, as I do believe we see a couple drivers battling it out. The 46 of TJ Lee right there side by side with Burleson in the 79. Of course, it looks like Burleson does get clear. Now McConey side by side with the 46. And it looks like McConey is going to be able to utilize that top side to get clear back up to 5th. Here comes Freeman. We talked about watching that 5 machine. He's having some big moves. It looks like TJ Lee getting a little bit uncomfortable in that race car. Falls back now to 7th. Oh, big wiggle from the 5 of Freeman. Able to keep it straight, though. Big battle going on for 2nd, though, right now. You see Greg Vile actually putting a lot of pressure on Ryan Truex right now, getting some massive runs on the exits of the corners. Vile getting really close to the back end of the 56. What is he willing to do in order to get a better finish in this heat? Side by side, I do believe it was side by side for just a moment there for 4th place is McConey trying to battle with the 79 of Burleson right now for that 4th place position. See McConey trying to go to the bottom, not quite able to do it. The more he tries to battle with Burleson, I think the more he's going to have to battle with Freeman. Here comes Freeman to the bottom, trying to see if he can't take that 5th place position away. Of course, the 5th spot is the cutoff spot in order to make it into the feature. Of course, if you do not finish in the top 5, you are, I do believe, registered for the LCQ. Coming up now to 12 laps to go here in heat number 3. As Freeman now tries to make something happen, gets incredibly close to the back end of McConey. He's now on the bottom. Justin talked about guys utilizing that bottom to really try to save the tire. Here comes Freeman. He's trying to, it's just so difficult to get that run off of the corner when you're down there. As we're coming now to 10 laps to go in heat number 3. Of course, Seawright still out front. He's got about a 0.4 of a second lead on Ryan Truex. They are starting to spread out in the top 3, but further back, behind Burleson and on, we're seeing a lot of battling. Of course, those are for those cutoff spots. Here comes Freeman once again. Go ahead, Justin. Sorry.
Was going to say, when it comes to all this too, Freeman, we mentioned to expect him charged to the pack. The difficult part right now is just getting the chance to be able to get alongside McConey and slow him up. Problem is, he's been trying so hard on McConey, he's now potentially going to lose that bubble spot here with Cherry wanted. No!
And it is not over, as we saw a secondary accident there Freeman all the way back to 9th now after being turned head-on into the wall. Goodness, that was quite an accident right there.
Yeah, I could just see that coming up with all that playing out with that squeeze. Just a very difficult spot. Freeman knew he needed a clear on by, and it just boiled over.
Yeah, I feel like that was almost 2 different incidents. I think McConey and Freeman got turned. That's interesting to note. You see, right there, I think we went a little bit too far back. That was back to the original accident where McConey had dodged the accident. But wow. Saw Matt Cherry come up, and he had a huge head of steam. And right here, got right into the right rear of Freeman, sent him head first into the outside wall. And that was another dramatic crash. As you see, Freeman has just come off of pit road.
Yeah, but you did also mention an issue with McConey because he's now having to come down too, and that's even worse for McConey because he seemed to be in a good spot just trying to hold on to the bubble spot, and all of a sudden you have this now blend into things. So you mentioned what happened with McConey is my question.
Yeah, I thought I saw him also get turned in a secondary accident, but I don't know. I think he might have just got somewhat of collateral there. So he does come down and take some tires, so hopefully this is going to help him. But then again, I wouldn't want to have too many drivers in front of me at Bristol. I'll tell you that. I think that has been the lesson of the day.
Well, I'm not sure why Greg Vile all of a sudden is tailgating Ryan Truex.
Maybe trying to a little bit of an intimidation thing. I don't know.
There isn't a button for that in iRacing currently, outside of, you know, using your shouty words.
Maybe just didn't like the way he was being raced. I mean, I know Vile was trying desperately to get by Truex, and I think maybe Vile thought he was being held up for a while there.
I mean, here's the thing, though. You're being held up no matter where you're at Bristol, no matter who it is. It's such a difficult place in the first place to settle it in. So it's going to be intriguing how this restart plays out. Only a 3-lap shootout. Seawright's been doing well up in clean air.
He definitely has been. This has been, I think, one of his best performances we've seen. If this is indicative, green flag is out, presented by the TLC Incorporated guys. Of course, Seawright with a really good start. Vile trying to see if he can't possibly get up there to Truex. Side by side, though, I do believe we see the 46 of TJ Lee trying to make something happen against Matt Cherry. You see McConey right there behind him, getting held up a little bit. Here comes McConey to the inside. Of course, this is, of course, just right outside of the cut line.
Well, they're holding each other up here, coming to this white flag presented by RL Productions when it comes to this.
Yep, this is definitely interesting to say the least. Matt Cherry all over the back of Burleson right now. And here comes a last-second dive from Greg McConey. Does he make something happen here? Oh, he spins across the line. He finishes 6th outside of the cut line.
Oh, and what is Greg Vile doing? Wrecking all of them right after the line, just as everyone else gets to spend a trip down to the LCQ.
That's right, LCQ time as we have 14 drivers lined up and ready, Justin.
Yes, indeed. So it's Jordan Jurassic up at the front. He did not get the transfer spot at the end of the last race. J.D. Woodward in second. McConey and Leahy top 4. Rainwater and Lee, followed by Gosselin and Clapper, Neeson and Dennis. A bunch of your top 10 starting positions for the LCQ tonight.
Yeah, of course, Newkirk starts 11th, Freeman 12th, 13th, Lashinsky, 14th, Coroner. So definitely 14 cars. This is more cars than we've ever seen so far tonight. Will that cause more problems? I think it might.
Yeah, well, it's also less laps to work with, and for some of these drivers, they were in positions for transfer spots, such as Leahy with that new look paint scheme tonight. The thing is, It's going to be so critical to be smart on how you drive this to make sure you're in the show, because as we've seen, it's very difficult to get out of the LCQ, and it's going to be even more difficult since, think of it this way. If this goes green, it's a 5-minute race to determine the rest of your night.
Yeah, and also keep in mind, I think we just had a couple EOL penalties actually paid out there. Jurassic got one, and Matt Garrett, if I'm not mistaken. Well, Garrett, I don't think is actually in this race, so I don't know why they gave him one. That might have been from another heat before. But I know Jurassic just got an EOL penalty. He started from the pole, or was supposed to. He's not going to be starting last.
It's going to be very critical for Jurassic. Remember, that was involving that big crash towards the end of the first heat of this night.
That's really going to give, I think, a lot of, really going to help out Greg McConey quite a bit. Of course, he barely missed, of course, the feature. So this is going to be his last chance. Of course, that's in the name, last chance qualifier. So we'll see what he can do with this opportunity here. Of course, J.D. Woodward, not a slouch either. Of course, they exit the TLC restart zone, and the green flag is out. Greg McConey with a really good start. Of course, looks like we see Leahy has gotten second place secured. And Leahy starting to put a lot of pressure on McConey right now. It looks like he starts to fall back, and now we'll have the pressure put on him from J.D. Woodward. We see Clapper desperately trying to work his way up into the top 5, trying to battle, I do believe, with Noah Rainwater in the 0-5.
Already most of these track, we'll have to see.
Lots of battling still on the racetrack as we see, of course, the 81 of, oh, there goes the 6 of Jurassic right in front of the 20 of Newkirk. Yellow flag is out. As we take a look back at the replay here, see exactly what happened to Jurassic. Oh, right in front of him, Freeman. That is kind of where it all started. The dominoes began to fall. As we take a look and see exactly what started this, I think it was Freeman that had an issue here. Had the 81 of Dennis underneath him and got loose up on the top side. Unfortunately, went sideways right in front of Jordan Jurassic. And the 20 of Newkirk, trying to avoid the car in front of him, gets right into the 6. And I do believe the car that was right in front of Newkirk was Neeson in the 24 machine. Definitely appreciate you, Austin Derbyshire, for giving us some excellent camera work. Really, that slow-mo, there's nothing like it. It really shows exactly what happened there. As, of course, Greg McConey at the front of the field. Leahy second, Woodward third, TJ Lee fourth, Rainwater fifth. That is the top 5 at the moment. I do want to give a shout out to one of the sponsors here, of course, for the Thunderclap iRacing Series. Of course, there is no rain in tonight's forecast at the track, but there is back in TLC's territories. If storms and showers leave your backyard flooded and no fun, give your yard a little TLC with 100% money back guarantee, drainage solutions for your home. With nearly 40 years of experience, TLC has experience this summer to get the water away and let your family play. Call 888-PICK-TLC for more information. Definitely appreciate them being the sponsor here, of course, for our restart zone here tonight, and of course the title sponsor for the Thunderclap iRacing Series. And here we go. Gonna have, I do believe, 13 laps to go. 12, I do believe, once the green flag actually comes back out here at Bristol Motor Speedway. And I have had a tremendous time watching these guys go around this bowl of a racetrack. This is one of the tracks that has always been on my bucket list. I've been to Darlington so many times, but I'll tell you, before I you know, leave this earth. I want to go to Bristol Motor Speedway. There's nothing else like it from what I've heard. But I'll tell you what, you got to almost be put on a wait list to get a ticket for this track. And here we go. Pace car lights are out. We're getting ready to have the pace truck dip down pit road as we prepare to enter the TLC restart zone. And there it is. Green flag is back out in the air. Another great restart from Greg McConey. Starting from the top, works out well for him. J.D. Woodward into the back of the 34 of Leahy. Leahy able to keep it straight. T.J. Lee really starting to put pressure on the 78 as well. Battling going on all over this track. Of course, for the most part, everybody has single filed out, but that does not mean these guys are not battling and waiting for guys to make mistakes. As McConey out in front, Leahy gets a little bit loose off of turn 4. Able to keep it together, though. That's going to also give, I do believe, a chance to the 78 of Woodward. Woodward side by side for second place. Can he get the run off? He tries to pinch the 34 down. And I think he is going to get the momentum he needs to clear for second. Can TJ Lee follow through? No, the 34 closes the door, slams it more like. Oh, a little bit of contact there to the back end of the 34. Clapper gets into the back end as well to the 46. So a little bit of a checkup there. And it is causing the top two to just drive away. As we see Clapper now trying to battle with TJ Lee. He's now on the bottom. Oh, this could be scary. He's able to keep it down. Big wiggle from Noah Rainwater back in 6th position. But he's able to keep it straight. Another wiggle. As he is now being, I do believe, pressured by the 71 of Gosselin. Oh, Gosselin up into the outside wall. Almost comes down into Rainwater. Coming up to 5 laps to go here in the LCQ. And McConey leads by 2/10. Oh, J.D. Woodward getting incredibly loose. Out of turn 4, almost spins the truck out as he is desperately trying to get his way up to the leader. Not quite able to get there, though. The gap is starting to enlarge, and don't even know if that's a word, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we got someone around, and I do believe that was T.J. Lee bringing out the yellow flag, the Eagleswood creation yellow flag, I should say. As we take a look at the replay to see exactly what happened to TJ Lee. Looks like he had a blinking issue. And then right after that, he got hit in the rear end. I do believe that was the 05 of Noah Rainwater who got into him. I almost feel like TJ Lee was trying to avoid Leahy in front of him. And got onto the brakes a little bit, and I think Rainwater just did not expect it. Taking a look back here, we see how huge run from the 46. And he was having a blinking issue. Yep, was trying to avoid the rear end of the 34. Got loose and then got completely sent around. That was actually the 71 of Gosselin that got into his rear end. And look at that. Jurassic nowhere to go. Freeman, oh, yep, Freeman gets some front end damage. And that is going to line us up for a green-white checkered here in the LCQ. Of course, Greg McConey right now out front. Woodward in 2nd. Clapper 3rd. Leahy 4th. Rainwater in 5th. That is the top 5 right now in the LCQ. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe the top 10 in this race move on to the feature. So that will definitely mean that those last 2 spots are not going to be too happy, and they are still on the lead lap, so I would not be surprised to see Newkirk and TJ Lee desperately trying to make something happen. Of course, TJ Lee actually just received an EOL penalty for that last wreck. But here we go, preparing ourselves for the final restart of the LCQ. Pace car lights are still on, but everyone is definitely apprehensive, ready to get this thing underway. Pace car lights have gone out as we prepare ourselves for the green flag If Greg McConey can nail this restart, I think he will win this LCQ. Of course, these guys are on fairly older tires. They have had some, I think, time to cool them down, though, under these caution flags. And it looks like, I wonder if Greg McConey might be celebrating possibly a pregnancy? I don't know. If he is, congratulations, Greg. But here goes the base car down pit road, entering the TLC restart zone. The green flag is back out. McConey with another great restart. Here comes Clapper to the inside for second place. Trying to see if he can't take one away from J.D. Woodward. Gets a little bit tight as he touches the apron. Still side by side for second place. Coming to now the white flag out in the air. And there goes Clapper, side by side for second place for the last lap. McConey, no trouble at all, will win, I do believe, this LCQ. And J.D. Woodward comes home in second. Justin Clapper comes home in third. Fourth place, Leahy. Fifth place, Rainwater. Sixth place, Gosselin. Of course, it cuts off right before I can finish. But here we go. I do believe we're going to be set ourselves for a 5-minute warm-up before we start the 100-lap feature. We're going to go ahead and take a quick step away and pay some attention to our sponsors. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching Grid Vision.
SRI Performance. With over 400 product lines representing the top manufacturers in motorsports, we are your one-stop shop for everything racing. 3 of our brick-and-mortar stores are located in North Carolina, and our newest facility in Brownsburg, Indiana. And 4 trackside mobile stores, you can find us spread out throughout the nation. With industry-leading knowledge, we are only a phone call away to visit our customer service experts. And don't forget, we have the world's largest inventory of used race parts. SRI Performance, and stock car steel and aluminum for everything racing.
Hey, Bob Carr here at TLC. Take a look at some of the specials we're running at TLC right now. Hey, Bob Carr here with TLC. Storms are in the forecast, so if you have a problem with water standing in your yard, in your basement, now's the time to give us a call here at the office at 410-721-2342. We'll be glad to provide you with a free, no obligation drainage proposal for your property. Give us a call here at the office at 410-721-2342 or hit the link below. We'll respond back to your email, set you up for a free, no obligation quote for your drainage needs. Let's solve that once and for all. Hey, Bob Carr here with TLC. Now's the perfect time to have your landscape lighting system tuned up for the upcoming summer months. Give us a call here at the office at 410-721-2342 and let's get you some light out there. Hey, Bob Carr here with TLC. Hope you guys are enjoying this race. Let's take it down to the booth and get updated on what's going on.
Welcome back, everybody, to Grid Vision's presentation of the Thunder Valley Showdown here with the Thunderclap iRacing Series presented by TLC Incorporated. Definitely excited to see what this feature is going to look like. Of course, we have 100 laps set before us here. Of course, 4 sets of tires actually down in the pits. I do not believe we'll have to worry about fuel, just considering fuel consumption is not very high at a track like Bristol. This is a short track, so these guys will be able to hit probably 100 laps before they have to worry about gas. But if they do have to worry about gas, it will be less of a factor. As a result, we have 20, I do believe, or a stage break at lap 20 and a stage break at lap 60. So that will be a pretty good breakup in the action here to allow these guys to kind of get back into the race here to have another shot at it. And it looks like we do have the grid set for this evening's action. Scott Formosa going to be starting on the pole with McCrary in second, Seawright third, Foley fourth, Diebold in fifth, Ryan Truex sixth, Brandon Schumann in seventh, Ball eighth, Vile in ninth, Condon rounds out the top 10. Of course, Montgomery in 11th, Burleson 12th, Garrett in 13th, Boundy 14th, Cherries in 15th, McConey 16th, Woodward 17th, Clapper starting 18th. Of course, Leahy's going to be starting 19th, Rainwater in 20th, Gosselin 21st, Freeman 22nd, 23rd Jurassic, 24th Dennis. And of course, rounding out this field here is Neeson there, I do believe. So definitely 25 cars set to do battle here at Bristol. This is going to be exactly that, a battle, as these guys are set to do 100 laps. That sounds like a whole lot, but of course, if these guys stay green, it will go by fairly quickly, as it looks like the pace car is starting to move here. Of course, Scott Formosa led every lap of heat number 1. I think the track position is going to be quite important. But then again, when these stages happen, that is going to present an opportunity for guys to go down pit road to grab a set of tires. But one thing about this track, with it being a 25-car field, I do believe 15th on back, with how quick these pace laps kind of go, if you pit from 15th on back, you possibly could end up going a lap down. And another problem about this track as well is if you have any significant damage that you need to get repaired, you don't have a lot of time to do it. A lot of tracks like Talladega and some of the bigger tracks that we go to, you have a lot of time to be able to get some damage repaired for the crew to work on cars, but you really do not have that ability quite as much here at a track like Bristol. But I'm definitely expecting a lot from Scott Formosa. This is, I think, his best performance we've seen thus far this season. Definitely is much needed, I'd say. Of course, I'd watch out for Ryan Truex. So he has been one of the hot guys all season long. Of course, also keep an eye out for Sean Boundy. He's back in 14th. He is our points leader at the moment. Pace car should be dipping down pit road here very, very soon. So we'll be getting the call for the green flag here. Of course, look at James Seawright as well. He led, I think, every lap of his heat. McCrary led every lap of his heat. So all 3 of the heat winners led every lap. So this is going to be quite a show to see who's going to be the dominant one. I think that's going to be really something that's going to be significant to watch. All 3 of these guys dominated their heats. Will they be able to dominate this? I think it's going to be a lot of clashes of egos in a lot of ways. And I don't think it's going to be very friendly out here. I think we're going to see a lot of beating and banging. That's kind of to be expected at a place called the Last Great Coliseum. There goes the pace car down pit road as they exit the TLC restart zone. Green flag is back out in the air. Scott Formosa with a relatively tame restart. McCrary really able to get a good launch as well, matching him step for step, side by side for second place. McCrary able to get clear there. But here comes Seawright trying to get underneath. Oh, he slides up right in front of Foley. Someone with a loose condition. Ball. No, that was actually, I think, Brandon Schumann, actually. Schumann slow down on the apron. No caution's going to come out as we complete lap number 2 here. Scott Formosa in the lead. Of course, this is when tire wear is really going to be a lot more of a factor than it was in the heats. We see some side-by-side racing. They believe as Ball tries to get by, I think that is Greg Vial. Of course, Vile might already still be a little bit heated after his heat. We have a big hornet's nest of race cars a little bit further back. I see Robert Condon battling with Matt Cherry. That is for the 11th place position at the moment. And looks like Cherry does. Looks like Condon now under fire from Greg McConey. Still trying to battle Condon, trying to hold on to that spot as McConey tries to use the top side. Still battling side by side. For the most part, the rest of the field has single filed out. You do see some little bit battling a little bit further back. And I do believe that is Gosselin and Montgomery. Gosselin in a little bit of a, or I should say Montgomery in a little bit of a different paint than I usually see him in. A lot of times he's kind of been in more of a Jeff Gordon or William Byron paint scheme, but he is definitely rocking a little bit of a white car, so it's hard to identify him. Oh, a little bit of contact there with J.D. Woodward. He keeps it straight, continues to go forward. Looking back a little bit towards the front, Sean Boundy just made a pass on Burleson, now up to 9th place. Oh, there goes Josh Ball, sideways along with Greg Vielle. Caution flag is out. So it looks like we just had a little bit of some drama, some short track tempers possibly flaring here. Greg Vielle and Josh Ball involved. And it looks like another accident. Montgomery actually goes around at the same time. So that could have definitely led to the caution as well. So two different accidents kind of happening at the same time. The one that I saw was between Ball and Vielle, and we see Montgomery. He kind of goes around all by himself. Matt Garrett, huge hit on his front end. As we look back, oh, it looks like Ball creamed the outside wall, came down into Vielle, unbalanced the race car. Vielle goes all the way around down onto the apron. Luckily, he does not hit anything, but I would not be surprised to see that Ball's right side is probably creamed pretty good. Big hit on that outside wall. It comes up so fast here at this racetrack. Look at the save. I think Ball might have used Vielle in order to save his car. Wow. And while we have a moment, I do want to give a shout out to another one of our sponsors here. Of course, that being RL Productions. Sorry, I had a little technical difficulty there. RL Productions is a Baltimore-based video marketing agency specializing in digital advertising for businesses in the DMV. So RL Productions offers custom brand strategies tailored to your organization's unique goals with in-house level attention to detail. RL Productions also offers complete event solutions for your conference and convention needs with both on-ground and live stream production capabilities. Visit rlproductioncrew.com to turn your company's goals into real-life productions. Definitely an awesome job those guys do for sure, as I do believe we're preparing to go green once again. Of course, quick rundown through the top five. Formosa, McCrary, Seawright, Diebold, and Truex, Ryan Truex to be exact, are your top five at the moment. Of course, we saw Josh Ball was involved in that last accident. He is currently in the 6th place position. You can even see some of the damage on the right side of that machine. I'm wondering how that is going to affect these drivers. But here we go. Pace car dips down pit road as we get ready to enter the TLC restart zone, and there it is, green flag. Back out in the air. What a start from Scott Formosa. A lot better start from that last one there. Seawright, though, really shoots out of a cannon, able to get by McCrary, secures that 2nd place position. Looking at the battle, though, I do believe Ryan Truex and Roger Diebold are battling for 4th place at the moment. See Truex all the way on the bottom. It looks like he loses the momentum on the exit, and Jack gives the opportunity to Josh Ball. Ball sends it in, really able to get the exit speed he needs to get secured On that, I do believe 5th place spot. That puts Ryan Truex outside of the top 10 or top 5. And he's actually going to get passed by Sean Boundy, your points leader. Side by side, Justin Clapper and Noah Rainwater. Of course, that is for the 11th place position. A little bit further back, I'm seeing a little bit of contact between some drivers. There goes Rainwater, sideways in the middle of the track. That could possibly, brings out a yellow flag. So Noah Rainwater, sideways in the middle of the track. We're going to take a quick replay and see exactly what happened here to the 05. And it looks like he just got loose. Oh, big hit. And I do believe that was actually the 52, I think. That was the 52 of Brandon Schumann, who just smashed into Rainwater there. Oh, and you see Leahy got a pretty good lick out of it as well, but huge damage to the front end of Brandon Schumann. You can see the front end of that race car has been just absolutely demolished. Take a look through the cockpit camera of Schumann, I do believe, and we're going to see how this kind of all plays out. Oh, just big hit there. Didn't seem like he really tried to slow down at all. I think he thought that possibly Rainwater was going to go down the track. This is somewhat of a self-cleaning racetrack, but you can't never expect that to be the case, as we see Rainwater actually coming down pit road. Scott Formosa, I think, actually went down pit road as well, or is in the process of going down pit road. So that is going to put the 88 of McCrary out front in the lead. While we have another moment, I do want to shout out another one of our sponsors here with Thunderclap iRacing Series, SRI Performance. SRI Performance is your all-inclusive performance parts warehouse for hardcore engine builders and racers. Stocking over 450 product lines, SRI has everything you need to find victory lane in your real racing rig and even in your sim rig. 2 convenient locations in Indianapolis and Mooresville, North Carolina keep you close to the track for all of your parts and performance needs. Now through May 10th, I do believe, that's not still going right now. But definitely, we appreciate those guys coming on board. Definitely check those guys out at sriperformance.com to view their second-to-none inventory and take a step closer to your next win. And it looks like we're preparing once again for the green flag. We're about 21 laps now into the race. And I think that's actually going to serve as our stage 1 caution. So I do believe we're going to be going racing until lap 60 now if we can stay green. So I think that's a lot of the reason why we saw Formosa go down pit road. Interesting to see McCrary staying out here, of course, on these 20-lap-old tires. These guys have had quite a few cautions that have probably kept the tires a little bit cooler. As we enter the TLC restart zone, green flag back out. McCrary with a pretty good launch. See Roger Debo trying to hold off Josh Ball right now. Ryan Truex on the top side. Looks like he's doing a lot better when he has that position up top. He does secure the 3rd place position. I think we're seeing maybe some problems from James Seawright. Seawright slow on the front stretch here. He is now back to 23rd position. Not sure what happened to the 18 machine. Seeing some side-by-side battling as well. Greg Vielle in the 26. Oh, big accident, including Vielle and Condon. And yellow flag, the Eagleswood Creation yellow flag is back out on the raceway. Or Speedway, I should say, as we take a look. Vielle into the 25 there. And just gets sent up into the outside wall. Pieces of that race car come off. Really can see that damage model in practice right here. As you see, he gets a little tight on the 25. He's able to ride right around the bottom, and it just the 25 comes down and just cleans him out. And with that, Eagleswood Creations caution flag, we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, with the rest of the Thunder Valley Showdown.
Eagleswood Creations, your one-stop shop for wood, acrylic, custom engravings, such as signs, boards, earrings, and much, much more. You can follow them today on Facebook, Instagram, or you can check out their website, eagleswoodcreations.com.
Hey homeowners, you're going to drag your hose through the yard in 2023? There's a better way to water your lawn. TLC Incorporated has been installing custom and professional underground lawn sprinkler systems for over 38 years. Our team would be happy to come out to your property at your convenience and provide you with a free, no obligation quote for a new custom underground lawn sprinkler system for your home. No more dragging the hose. No more dry and dusty patches in your yard. Our smart lawn sprinkler systems will efficiently provide water to your lawn all season long with a healthy green grass from your front yard to your back. Click the blue Learn More button below and the team at TLC can start building the perfect lawn sprinkler system for your home right away. Hey, Bob Carr here with TLC. Hope you guys are enjoying this race. Let's throw it back to the guys in the booth.
Welcome back, everybody, to Grid Vision's presentation of the Thunder Valley Showdown at Bristol Motor Speedway. Of course, if you're just joining us, we have been having quite a drama-filled race with lots of accidents and things like that. Noah Rainwater trying to avoid going a lap down, but not quite able to do so. Such a tricky place to avoid going a lap down as we wait for the pace car to soon go down pit road in order to restart this race. Of course, we are in stage number 2. Stage 1 just completed with a accident that brought that caution flag out. But here comes the pace car down pit road here in just a moment as we prepare to enter the TLC restart zone. McCrary has control on the green flag. Back out in the air. Some guys, I think, with a little bit of some wheel spin. Matt Cherry not getting a really good launch at all. Looks like we went 3 wide before the line. Now that is not that's a no-no, I do believe, in this series, if I'm not mistaken. Diebold able to get clear of, I do believe, Ryan Truex for that second spot. Looking a little bit further back, I see Leahy actually battling side by side at the moment. Was with Durasic, now battling with Freeman, who has now entered the top 10. Durasic getting incredibly close to the 67 of Matt Cherry. A hornet's nest even further back behind them. Leahy, it looks like he was not able to really hold the pace on the bottom side. He drops back to now 9th place. Scott Formosa losing some spots. He, of course, started on the pole for this race, is now back into 12th position. I do believe he is trying to battle with Greg McConey right now. Of course, he has, I do believe, the 79 as well of Burleson, Anthony Burleson, right in front of him. And we also talked a little bit about James C. Oh, problems there for J.D. Woodward into the inside wall hard. No caution flag, but he definitely pounded that left side quite substantially there. Back up front, though, McCrary in control right now. Caution is out. I think Matt Cherry involved. Looks like we have someone sideways down on the apron. I think that was Matt Cherry in the 67 machine. I'll tell you, in all 3 of the heats we had, we only had about 10 cars on the track, and those guys were able to really keep it green. But when you put 25 cars on the track, that's when it becomes a little more difficult. And I think Jurassic, kind of gradually spun the 67 around. Oh, the 67 almost came in up in front of Brandon Schumann there. Almost had some secondary contact. Take another look back from a little bit of a different angle. You see the 6 of Jurassic. I think he gets into the back end of the 67. The 67 was trying to avoid, I think, hitting the back of the 63, and unfortunately the 6 just did not see that. I wouldn't even mind taking a cockpit camera from Jurassic to see if he can even see the 63 slowing down in front of the 67. Look at the drive from Leahy. Able to dodge the 67, but not able to dodge the wall. That wall's not going to move, I'll tell you that. And you see a piece of that race truck actually came off as well. Love that new damage model here. And take another look back, I do believe, through the cockpit camera here of Jordan Jurassic. See right here, just a little touch. He could not even see the 63 in front of him. The visibility in these trucks are quite low, especially when you have a truck that is directly in front of you. Of course, you see Matt Cherry now coming down pit road. McCrary, though, has decided to stay out. I do believe the plan probably for the 88 is to try to stay out as long as he possibly can. I think when that stage break on lap 60 comes around, I think he'll probably be coming down, though. This is definitely a scary instance. I would not want to be in the hornet's nest that is the middle of this pack. So I think that's what McCrary is really trying to avoid as best as he can right now. Do want to give another shout out to one of the sponsors here for Thunderclap, of course, that being the title sponsor. Well, it looks like we have a couple of what Bob Carr would call hose draggers at the back of the field. They're trying to stay out of trouble. They don't want to be caught dragging their hose through the field, and you shouldn't either. A brand new lawn sprinkler system from TLC will retire that old shrivel-up hose of yours and replace it with a new and efficient smart sprinkler system for your home. Call 888-PIC-TLC for more information, as I do believe we're preparing to have the pace car lights go out as we get ready to go back green once again. Of course, McCrary still out front, Diebold second, Truex third, Ball fourth, Clapper fifth. Of course, Freeman, he's one I'm really got my eye on. He's been really, really good at staying out of trouble for the most part, and definitely has been good at staying out of trouble here tonight thus far. Very impressed with what I'm seeing from the 63 of Justin Clapper. He has been looking really, really good here tonight, even though he did kind of indirectly lead to that accident that just happened just a moment ago. He's definitely been keeping out of trouble. I think that's going to be the key here as we prepare to go green. The TLC restart zone. Green flag is back out. A little bit of a, bad start for Josh Ball. Not able to get going there, and that holds up the top line quite a bit. But here comes Debo. Debo with a really good run of speed on the top side. Able to secure second once again over Ryan Truex. Here comes the who is that? I think that's the 63 of Justin Clapper. Oh, problems for the 12 of Greg McConey. No caution coming out. He just spun out, I do believe, down onto the apron. We saw Justin Clapper was really starting to put some pressure. He still is putting pressure here on Ryan Truex. Of course, he's got Josh Ball right there behind him. Really good run from the 63. But here comes Ball. I would not want to have that one machine right behind me, just considering he is the points leader in the truck series. Has had quite a dominant season in these trucks. Oh, he gets incredibly close to the back of the 6-3. This is really holding up a lot of the traffic behind these guys. You see the 5 of Freeman. You see Scott Formosa all the way back up to 7th now. Of course, he has Jurassic right there behind him. 46 laps in, coming up close quickly to the halfway point of the Thunder Valley Showdown. Of course, we see Sean Boundy trying to see if he can't work his way up to Dennis in the 81. Great job for the 81 tonight. Here comes Reed Foley. Oh, Foley getting loose. Slows down, loses a couple spots. Now back to 12th. Yellow flag is out. And I'm wondering if this is as a result of the 15 having his issue. No, it was not. It has Brandon Schumann J.D. Woodward, looks like Schumann just took a tow. Taking a look back here, see exactly what happened. Looks like Schumann jumps up in front. I think that's that's the 18 of Seawright. Oh, yeah, this is a completely different thing. It looks like Matt Garrett and J.D. Woodward might have had something going on before this. Taking a look at Matt Garrett. Let's see exactly what happened here. See, he just gets loose, I think, trying to avoid the guys in front of him, and I think that might have been Foley that he was trying to avoid. Oh, and he just locks up the brakes and goes right up in front of J.D. Woodward. What just, I'm wondering why Garrett went up the track like that. I think that that's odd. Taking a look here, through the eyes, I do believe, of Matt Garrett. And you look at it, I think he laid on the brakes and just got loose. Then he turned back up. I think maybe something broke on that race car that caused him to go up. I'm not sure. Definitely unfortunate for J.D. Woodward and Schumann. They both just had nothing they could really do to avoid that. And Schumann having to take a tow, so that was a race ender for that driver. And of course, as a result of Matt Garrett, he was given a black flag and EOL penalty. So that is going to be an unfortunate circumstance there. Trying to avoid, I think the guys in front of him got a little bit spooked and unfortunately turned that car around and affected some other drivers' races. We have crossed now the halfway point of tonight's race at the Bristol Motor Speedway, the last great Coliseum, and I'll tell you what, there's a lot of guys that are not going to make it to the end of this race. Speaking of which, I do believe we have right now everybody in the top 20 is still on the lead lap at the moment. Of course, 21st Condon is a lap down. Rainwater 3 laps down. Brendan Schumann out of the race car in 23rd. Leahy out of the race car in 24th. Vial out of the race car in 25th. And I think that we have not seen the last of guys leaving their race cars here. I think the closer and closer we get to the end of this thing, the more and more intense it is going to be. And I think it's going to be even more intense here for this restart, just considering we have less than 10 laps to go until the end of stage 2. Of course, McCrary out front right now in the lead. He's got Diebold right there beside him. See what these guys have in store for us as the pace car lights have gone out. Going to be an intense shootout to the end of stage 2. Do we make it there without a caution flag coming out and serving as the stage 2 end? Definitely could be the case here as the pace car prepares to take the left turn. I would be worried. I think that pace truck's getting ready to run out of gas tonight. It definitely has been a very good presentation of the damage model here as the green flag is back out in the air once again. Freeman making a big move, jumps up in front of Formosa in order to secure that 5th place position. McCrary, though, with a really good restart, able to secure the lead. He's got that clean air. Oh, see Clapper still really putting pressure on the 56 of Ryan Truex. Clapper getting incredibly close to the back end of that 56. Here comes Freeman, though. Freeman going to see if he can't possibly get a nose above. I think that's been where you really want to try to make the passes, is on the top side. Man, these guys are definitely having a rough race today. I mean, it's just so hard to predict what's going to happen, having so much car control. Bristol is one of the toughest short tracks out there, especially considering just how quick these laps go by and how quick things can happen. Visibility out of the corners is so little as we see Freeman battling side by side with Clapper. Freeman getting a pretty good run to the center of the corner, not going to get the run off. That's going to put Scott Formosa to his outside. Can Formosa follow Clapper through? Formosa getting a little bit loose off of turn 4. Freeman getting loose, or maybe tight more like. McCrary, though, out front, being chased down by Diebold at the moment. As we take a roof camera, or deck lid camera, I should say, off the back end of, I do believe, the 63 of Clapper. I mean, that was actually Formosa. My apologies. Formosa able to get by Freeman. Here comes McConey battling with Matt Cherry. Of course, Cherry has been involved in a number of accidents tonight. Of course, he has won a race just last week at Atlanta Motor Speedway in the car of tomorrow, but it seems like this race here tonight has proved a little bit more difficult than that, which is saying something considering those car tomorrows are so difficult to drive. Formosa up on the top trying to hold off Freeman right now. Of course, this is for that 5th place position. Caution flag is out, and that is stage number 2. Of course, McCrary finishes in 1st, Diebold 2nd, Ryan Truex 3rd, Clapper 4th, Formosa 5th, Freeman 6th, Burleson 7th, Dennis 8th, 9th, Seawright, and 10th, I do believe, goes to Matt Cherry. So that is the top 10 points paying positions here for stage 2. With that, we're going to take another brief step away and pay some more attention to our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to Grid Vision's presentation of the Thunder Valley Showdown here with the Thunderclap iRacing Truck Series, Thunderclap iRacing Series here at Bristol Motor Speedway, of course, presented by TLC Incorporated. It has definitely been a showdown, that is to say the least. Of course, we've had some pit strategies kind of start to break out here now. James Seawright has stayed out, I do believe, with quite a I think 5 other drivers as well. Ball, Gosselin, Thoracic, and Foley have all decided to stay out. Of course, McCrary is on the newest tires in the field, and he only fell back to 6th place, which is not too bad. I mean, to be honest with you, I think that this could be probably the best scenario for him. He does not have a whole lot of drivers in front of him, and he's on the fresh tires. Of course, he does have to battle with Ryan Truex, who is on the same fresh tires as him. Of course, you see as well, I do believe, some other drivers behind that also are on fresh tires. Diebold has been quite quick here so far tonight. Pace car lights, I do believe, have gone out. We see James Seawright is deciding to choose the top side. As here we are, the TLC restart zone, and the green flag is back out. Seawright with a nice launch. Of course, he dominated his heat earlier in the day, and it looks like he's going to see if he can't get up to this clean air. Josh Ball, side by side at the moment, I do believe, with the 71 of Gosselin. Jurassic trying to find his way around. Oh, a big wiggle there for Ball. He's going to come up in front of the field. And Jurassic up into the outside wall. Somehow Ball saves it. Caution flag is out, though. That was a crazy moment for Ball. I'm wondering why the caution flag came out. I think it might have something to do with the 80 of Scott Formosa. He has fallen back to 9th now. So we take a replay here to see exactly what happened. It looks like, oh, see the 79 of Burleson gets into the back of Freeman and turns around. At the same time, Greg McConey goes around. And that is going to bring yet another Eagleswood Creation caution. Taking yet another look here at Greg McConey's spin. And he just got loose on the entrance to the corner. I think he just was carrying a little bit too much speed. And unfortunately went around here. Oh, what is that? JD Woodward? What the heck happened with him? It looks like he almost hit some fluid built up from the guys that had wrecked. It looks like there might have been some oil slick on the racetrack, as all of them wrecked at the same location too. As we're taking a look back at Woodward here, you see him and just looks like he was kind of all by himself on the racetrack and got loose on the entry. I wonder if he maybe saw those guys spin in front of him and might have just got a little scared for a second. But that is going to be yet another caution here, sponsored by Eagleswood Creation. Speaking of Eagleswood Creations, I do want to give them a shout out. Of course, they are your one-stop shop for your laser engraving needs, from wood to acrylic, custom signs, earrings, keychains, coasters, and much, much more. Located in West Creek, New Jersey, but shipping nationwide. Items can be purchased and custom made via Etsy or through their website, eagleswoodcreations.com. Follow them today on Etsy, Facebook, and at Eagleswood Creations on Instagram. It's hard to say that sometimes. But that's just because my South Carolina brain just can't seem to handle. But we definitely appreciate everybody out there joining us and having a good time with us here at Grid Vision as we cover the Thunderclap iRacing series here presented by TLC. We definitely love to cut up and have some fun up here in the booth. And hopefully everyone down there, or I shouldn't say down there, but out there that is watching our broadcast here today is having fun as well. Make sure you comment in our YouTube stream. Who are you rooting for? Who are you here to watch? Because I know a lot of friends and family of some of these drivers love to watch these shows and really root for their favorite drivers, whether that be a family member or just good friend. Definitely, we'd love to see you commenting and shouting them out, supporting them. And I'm sure that they love to watch back and see, of course, the support. JD Woodward barely making it off pit road without going a lap down here. I do believe the pace car lights have gone out now as we get ready for the green flag. Of course, we do have, I do believe, 27 laps to go at the moment. Will be 26. No, yeah, 27 when the green flag actually flies here once again. If you're just joining us, we are in stage number 3 of this 100-lap feature. Definitely has been an exciting one. And to actually, I do believe this is actually the last short track race before the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. So keep that in mind. And there it is. Green flag is back out, presented by TLC Incorporated. James Seawright with a pretty good launch. Side by side, though, is Gosselin and Jurassic. Jurassic gets the better launch off of turn 4. Caution is back out, as I do believe Freeman involved in this one. See Freeman on the pylon plummeting down the running order here. Taking a look back at see what happened here. Right in front of him, it was Foley. Looks like Foley might have gotten turned and kind of led to the dominoes falling to where Freeman got involved. Take another look back and see exactly what happened to Foley here. Watching Reed Foley. side by side, I do believe, with Justin Clapper. Clapper gets into the rear end of the 15 and finishes him off right in front of Sean Boundy as well. Boundy scoots through with minimal damage. So we're going to take another look back, I think, at Sean Boundy, see what it looked like from his perspective. You can see right there where Foley jumped up in front of Clapper. Wow. He did get some contact in that, but that was about as best as it could have went right there for that 35. Really great heads-up driving for Sean Boundy. That is why I think he is the points leader. And I do believe we have some guys that are visiting pit road, probably to get some damage repaired. I see McCrary's coming down pit road again. Some damage there on Seawright's rear end. You can definitely see that. I don't think there's a clean truck in the house here tonight. And isn't that funny? I think he's going to have to do an insurance claim. So First Class Insurance, give them a call. We definitely appreciate everybody tuning in here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. This place is just awesome. I absolutely love watching racing here, and it looks like Freeman's just barely going to get off of pit road in time in order to not go a lap down, as we're now, I do believe, coming up to 22 laps to go. If we stay green, it will go by quite quickly, but as we can see, the temperature out here at Bristol, even though it's pretty cool on the track side, is going up quite a bit when it comes to these drivers' tempers. 72 degrees to be exact on the actual track temp, which is it's not changed very much. I think it started out at 73. Of course, the track has gotten quite rubbered down. You can see a lot of the rubber has been starting to cake up on certain portions of this racetrack. Every bit of the surface out here has been in use. Pace car lights have gone out here, as where I do believe we're going to have 21 laps to go when we go back green flag racing. James Seawright right now in control. How long will he be in control? If the cautions continue to fly, I think he will be able to hold on to it. Of course, he does have some drivers that are on fresher tires that are not that far back from him. Drivers such as Roger Diebold in the 5th place position is on fresher tires, as well as Ryan Truex and Scott Formosa. And there it is, green flag back out, presented by TLC Incorporated. And it looks like James Seawright just did not get as good of a launch as he possibly needed. He's going to be pressured by Jordan Durasic, side by side for 3rd place, Ball and Gosselin at the moment. As Ball runs to high line, and he's going to get a heck of a launch off of turn 4. And here comes Diebold. Going to see if he can't follow suit. Oh, there goes Gosselin. He tried to jump up in front of Formosa, but Formosa was already there, and this has caused a pileup, including Clapper. And the yellow flag comes back out. Taking a look back at this, like I said, I think Gosselin kind of cleared himself. Tried to jump up in front of Formosa, but he was not clear. Oh, and just, I think we're looking on board with Clapper, if I'm not mistaken. Goodness, that was a wreck and a half right there. Involved quite a number of race cars. We'll take another look. You see right there, Gosselin just comes up in front of Formosa, and there was just no way. And you see Boundy gets a click in that. Man. A lot of drivers adding more damage. I think they need to call First Class Insurance, because there's going to be a lot of, yeah, right there. I don't know why Gosselin thought he was going to be clear, but Formosa had such a run right there. And that is just a sad day for the 71. And of course, I do believe Formosa picked up some damage as well, as he had actually started on the pole for this race. Of course, this is also going to give Seawright just a little bit more breathing room and give him some more laps led if it comes down to a 5-lap shootout, I think Seawright is going to be in really good position. And the more cautions we have, the more likely that is going to be the case. But look, Seawright, last-second decision. I think he is coming down pit road. I don't know if I would have done this. I think track position is well worth it at the moment. This is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. This is going to put Jurassic in the lead with Ball in second place, Diebold third, Ryan Truex fourth, Scott Formosa up to fifth. What a recovery from Matt Garrett as well. I know he had an EOL penalty earlier as a result of an accident. He is now, I do believe, up in ninth place, top 10 right now. Interesting decision, though, from Seawright. I think that was a big mistake. Unless he absolutely had to come down pit road, I don't think he was running low on fuel because, like I mentioned before, I think fuel was not really a concern here at Bristol. I think he might have just wanted to go get some tires. I just don't think they're worth it. Especially if it comes down to a really short race to the end. At the moment, I think we're going to have a 15-lap shootout. Actually, maybe even less than that, 14 possibly, depending on if the pace car lights go out this time by, and I think they will. Yep, they do. So a 14-lap shootout here. And to be quite honest, to be brutally honest, I don't think we're done with the caution flag. I think Barney, the flag man, is going to be getting him another wave in here tonight. And it ain't going to be the white flag he's going to be waving. These guys have been super aggressive out here, and who can blame them? I mean, they want to get the glory that comes with a win here in the Thunderclamp iRacing series. I mean, this is such a hard series to win in. I mean, it has so many talented drivers, real-world drivers as well, as the green flag is back out, presented by TLC. Great restart there from Jordan Jurassic. Here comes Ryan Truex, though, with a huge head of steam up on the top, side-by-side with Josh Ball. Barely any room for him to even squeeze up there, but he does. And look at this run coming from the 56 of Ryan Truex. Of course, Ryan Truex on some of the freshest tires in the field at the moment. Side by side with Ball, running it right around the top of the racetrack. And I think he is going to secure second right now. Now he's going to set his sights on Jordan Jurassic. We have not really seen a legit pass for the lead. Will we see that now? As Jurassic goes up to the top to try to take away the line, as we see, of course, Matt Garrett moving his way up to sixth place, now battling side by side with Scott Formosa, our pole sitter here tonight. Formosa trying to get the run off the corner, and I think he's going to do it. He gets cleared for the sixth place position, back to side by side once again. Also, Sean Bounty, who has a tremendous amount of damage on that truck, is still able to remain competitive as he tries to get above the three of Matt Garrett. Not quite able to get there. You see Matt Cherry, last week's winner, right there behind Bounty. Cherry has been involved in a number of accidents here tonight. And not saying that any of them were his fault, but he has definitely been the punching bag here this evening, as well as Bounty. Lots of battling still out all on this track. Even further back, deeper in the field, there's a cluster of race cars. As we watch James Seawright, of course, he just recently took a pit stop to grab some fresh tires. He is now in 13th, trying to see if he can't get by Justin Clapper. Here he comes to the inside. Ryan Truex, of course, now here he comes to the inside. Battle for the lead as we have 6 laps to go here. Will we make it to the white flag, and will Barney make me eat my own words? Jurassic running as high as he possibly can to make sure that Truex does not have the run on the exits. Here comes Ryan Truex once again, trying to get side by side for the lead. Not able to get there. I think he's going to have to change it up. He's going to have to try to get above Jurassic in order to try to take this lead, or pressure him into making a mistake. We heard Justin tell it earlier, running that bottom saves tires. I don't know if that's going to be a factor here, though. As we come down to 3 laps to go, can Ryan Truex get it done? Will Jurassic win this race? Coming to now 2 laps to go as they pull away from the field. Next driver in third is 8/10 back, and that is Josh Ball. Side by side once again as we're coming very close to the white flag. And I think Jurassic, he has the advantage. Is Ryan Truex willing to put the bumper to him as Barney the Flagman waves the RL Productions white flag? Here comes Truex, last chance, last couple corners. Can he get there? And he doesn't. Jordan Jurassic will win this race. And it looks like Diebold is able to actually get one over on Ball and actually takes over third. And what a win from Jordan Jurassic as he is going to come to victory lane to celebrate. He takes himself 9th victory lap as we have completed the Thunder Valley Showdown at Bristol Motor Speedway. And Jurassic comes out on top at the last great Coliseum. And he has the cleanest truck, I think, in the field in a lot of ways. And think about this as well. Jurassic had to fight his way into this race, had to compete in the LCQ, and somehow made it into the feature and wins this race. I think now's the time we'll go ahead and run down through the final results here in the Thunderclap iRacing Series race at Bristol Motor Speedway. Oh, goodness gracious. Now that's gonna, he ain't taking that truck home with him, that's for sure. Jordan Jurassic, first place. Ryan Truex comes home in second place. Roger Diebold in third. Josh Ball fourth. 81 of Dennison fifth. Scott Formosa sixth. Matt Garrett seventh. Boundy eighth. Cherry ninth. Freeman 10th. That rounds out the top 10. Of course, Burleson in 11th. Seawright 12th. Clapper in 13th. Neeson in 14th. Foley 15th. Montgomery 16th. Goslin 17th. 18th Condon. Of course, after Condon, I do believe, my fault there, McConey, Rainwater, Woodward in 21st, McCrary 22nd, Schumann in 23rd, Leahy 24th, and Greg Vial in 25th. That rounds out the 25-car field here for the feature. And what a race it was here tonight as we're going to go ahead and get started with our post-race show and talk with our top 3 finisher. Of course, first up, I do believe will be Roger Diebold. If we can grab him right quick, we'll try to find him. All right, we got him here in the booth. Roger Diebold, great performance here. That is, I do believe I know you got a top 3 last week as well. I think it was the second place at in the car tomorrow at Atlanta, and you come home third here tonight. How you feeling? How was the truck handling?
I'm feeling pretty good. A little hot and wore out after that one, but we'll be all right here in a minute once AC kicks on full blast. But no, truck ran great. It's definitely, for me, I preferred running the top up there. And I think pretty much everybody did, unless you had brand new tires going up against some old tires. You can make the bottom work, but I think the top was the dominator today.
It definitely seemed like it. Running up on the top was the best place to do, or best place to run. It seemed like you really couldn't make passes on the bottom. I mean, how were you able to kind of overcome that sort of challenge? Did you try to just get your nose above people?
Yeah, the best move to get around somebody is to just try to get to their outside and try to keep them pinned down there. Like me and Ryan were doing to each other for what felt like 8 restarts in a row. He'd kind of get the jump on me, and then I'd just keep him pinned down there, and then he'd have to back out of it a little bit there. So that's about the only way. Like I said, unless you had brand new tires going up against some really wore out ones, you can make the bottom work. But it's tough. Track position was definitely the most important thing tonight.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like it was for sure, but it looks like, good third place finish, going to be some good points for you. Of course, we're not done with the trucks yet. Next week we go to Kansas, and we're going to be right back in the trucks. Of course, even with the new damaged model, it's definitely been very interesting. How do you feel about Kansas?
Personally, I love Kansas. I wanted that to be the playoff, the championship race, but I got outvoted almost unanimously. So I love that track. I think it fits my driving style really well. Multi-groove, multi-lane, plenty of places to go. And there's just a lot of room there to try different stuff, make different moves and whatnot. So yeah, I love it.
All right. Well, who can we give a shout out to after your third place finish, Roger?
Well, since I'm back here up in the booth post race, I'm going to give the Pool Jerks from California another big shout out here. I know we were talking about it. They all watched and they were like, "Oh man, that's cool." So giving them another shout out for a podium here. Thank my friends and family that watch this every week. Thank y'all up in the booth. Justin Clapper, Justin White, Jay Clarkson, Kyle Newkirk, everybody that puts this thing on and keeps an eye over us. And yeah, I think that's it.
All right. Well, thanks for your time, Roger, and we'll see you next week at Kansas.
Yeah, see you guys.
All righty, that was Roger Diebold, driver of the 38, finishing third place. Next up, we're going to be talking to Ryan Truex, finishing in second. Ryan, you ran a good race here. What did you need to get past Jurassic?
Man, I don't know. The bottom lane's just such a disadvantage that I don't know if I could have cleared him without running into him, and I wasn't going to do that. So just tried a few different lanes and a few different options and just tried to get a run there off of 2 to at least try to get to the inside off of 4. But yeah, just all about track position, and obviously the top lane was the place to be on restarts. If you get up as quick as you could and hope that you were in the right spot when the next caution came out, that kind of dictated where you'd end up.
Yeah, definitely seemed like the case for sure. And of course, you were on a little bit fresher tires than Jurassic. That didn't seem like it gave you that much of an advantage, surprisingly, right?
No, well, that first stage break, a few of those guys pitted, and obviously they were running top 5 the whole beginning of the race, and once they got back there, they had a hard time making up positions other than I think just being in the right spot on restarts. So that kind of told me that tires weren't huge. Looking back, I probably should have pitted at lap 48 when that caution came out with 10 to go before the end of stage 2, and it would have been sitting in a better spot. But yeah, I mean, just lucky that really lucky I missed that one wreck when they all piled in on the top. That actually worked out, restarting on the bottom there. So that's what got me up there, and then restarting 4th just gave me the jump I needed to at least stay with the leader. But yeah, tough to pass for sure. But that's kind of how top lane Bristol is, especially with the trucks with low horsepower.
Well, you're not done with the trucks just yet. I mean, of course, you got yourself a second place here tonight. Next week, we head to that a really great mile and a half, Kansas. How do you feel about that racetrack?
Yeah, it's a fun one. Yeah, the top seems to prevail there too, but you can still make the middle and the bottom work to make passes depending on how you time your runs and things like that. So it's a fun one, but it'll be kind of the same situation. Stay out of trouble and be in the right spot at the right time. It's just tough to plan the stage cautions and when you want to pit, when you want to stay out. It's so hard to tell how tires are going to wear, over a run, and how much, new tires are going to matter, depending on what you've got as far as old tires. So, yeah, it just got to be there at the end and hope that you got the right lane on the restart, and at least there you've got the draft to help you kind of finish passes. But yeah, it'll be a good one. It'll be fun to go back to a big track with the trucks for sure.
Yeah, we definitely look forward to it. You've definitely had a really great season, and this is going to be a really good points day for you too, because I know you recently lost the points lead to Sean Boundy, and I think that this might be just what you need, and hopefully Kansas will be just what you need as well. Ryan, after your second place finish, who can we give a shout out to, brother?
As always, all the fans in the grandstands. We had a packed house tonight, so really cool to see that for a truck race.
I heard that. Oh, well, thanks for your time, Ryan, and congratulations on the second place. It's a pleasure to talk to you, and we'll see you next week, brother.
Thanks.
Alrighty, that was Ryan Truex, driver of the 56 machine, and definitely a great performance here tonight. But the person that really stole our breath away was Jordan Durasic. I mean, man, you had to race your way into this thing, into the LCQ. You had to run. Didn't have the best heat. I mean, you made a move in your heat that sent you all the way to the back, essentially. And but you had to fight your way back in, and you had to fight your way fight yourself to a win. I mean, how much more does that mean, having to go through so many obstacles to get here?
Yeah, this whole race was a fight. I mean, all day. We put in the work since yesterday, over 350 laps of practice just to get the car tuned up to where we needed. And we were fast in practice and everything, but once we went to qualifying, we didn't lay down the best lap. And then as the heats came in, we were running in second, and then we made a bold move, try to go for the front, because we knew that was going to be the P1 starting spot for the race. And it actually ended up costing me, and almost cost me not racing in this race at all. And then we make it to the last chance qualifier, and we had to fight our way through. We got in a couple wrecks there, but yeah, this was a wild race. I wouldn't expect to make it all the way from the back to the front. I had to use some strategy there in stage 1 and 2 to get where I was. And the leader, I believe, was at 18. He got a restart violation, and that was the one restart I timed it perfect, and still came out second. I think that was the winning move right there, because if I didn't time that, I could end up third, and whoever was in second that time would have been leader. But those last 15 laps, I was shaking. I knew he was on my rear, and we just had to lay down perfect laps and not make any mistakes. And we were getting up inches next to that wall, and this is my first Thunderclap win. I'm really excited, man.
Whoa, is it your first Thunderclap win? Wow,
Yes,
I didn't even realize that. That makes it even bigger, man. Good job.
Yes. We've been close several times, but man, this feels so special. We've been so close. We've had a rough start to the season. Early in the season, we got wrecked out a lot and stuff, but we've been laying down some good races lately, and we've been right on the bubble for around 15, 16 for the playoffs, and I knew we needed to get something to just put the pressure off, and I think this win will just move us to a different level, and I really think we got the pressure off, and we could go out there and perform in future races and hopefully have that momentum going into the playoffs now.
100%. I know a lot of times when you get a win, a lot more come later. So definitely congratulations, especially able to beat someone like Ryan Truex. And you know, a lot of these guys out here are very, very talented. Wins don't come easy in this series, wouldn't you say?
Oh, no, definitely not. I've been busting my butt all season, especially for the last 3 seasons since this Thunderclap's been a league, and I've been running here for the last couple of years, and I've just been trying to get a win. My very first Thunderclap race was at Talladega, and we were in the lead with 1 to go, and we ended up getting crashed. So it's been a fight to trying to find our way into victory lane since then, and it's just all the pressure is just lifted off. I'm excited, man.
100%, especially getting a win at Bristol. I mean, this is a tough place for sure. Of course, with that momentum, we go to Kansas next week and in the truck as well. I mean, how's your confidence looking now that you've gotten a win? And, you know, what do you think about Kansas?
I mean, Kansas is very similar to Bristol and like trying to work that high lane, because for this race, I was getting extra close. I clipped the wall a couple times here, but you're going to have to get working that high lane at Kansas is going to be real important, and track position as well, and saving tires. Yeah, I love Kansas. It's a great track, and it's going to produce some great side-by-side racing.
Well, we definitely look forward to it as well. Congratulations once again, Jordan. Who can we give a shout-out after your first win in the Thunderclap iRacing series here?
I'd like to give a shout-out to all my teammates, Thomas Kohick, Matthew Montgomery in the 9 car, Reed Foley in the 15 car, and John Freeman in the 5 car. Man, we've been working hard all season, and I'm just proud of my team. I mean, I don't know what to tell them. And I also want to thank my sponsors that we've had onto the season, Wheels on Wheels Transportation, and we've also had this Tri-State Marine as well. They've been great partners throughout the season, and I can't wait to continue to work with them as we go into the playoffs.
100%. Well, thanks for talking to us, Jordan. Hopefully we get chances to talk to you more often, brother. Have a great night, brother.
Yes, sir. You as well.
That was Jordan Durasic, driver of the Six Machine, getting his first win. That's news to me. That is so exciting to see someone get their first win. Now, of course, make sure you tune in with us next Wednesday. We'll be at Kansas Motor Speedway. Definitely going to be an exciting one there. That mile and a half, like a lot of the guys have alluded to, is more of a top, kind of oriented racetrack that the top line is the place to be. Of course, tire saving is going to be key there as well. And, of course, we're going to be right back in the NASCAR truck. So even though we only, before this race, only had 3 starts in the truck, we're going to have our 5th start in the truck next week, of course, this being our 4th. But we definitely appreciate everyone out there tuning in. And with that, I do believe it is time for us to draw to the conclusion of tonight's presentation. And definitely want to thank Thunderclap for trusting Grid Vision to handle this huge broadcast. And we have so many talented drivers that are out there, and we just feel honored that they trust us with this for sure. And we appreciate everybody out there tuning in for sure. I do want to give a shout out to our co-owner, Justin Levine, who's always definitely supporting this. Taylor Burris, of course, another one of our co-owners. Austin Darbyshire, producer / co-owner, always bringing some of the best camera angles, I'd say, on the service for sure, giving us slow-mo views and really able to just analyze every bit of the action. Of course, also want to shout out Justin Prince. I know he had quite a number of technical difficulties here tonight. Definitely, he was here in spirit, though, for sure. My name is Brian Britt. Thanks, everyone, for listening to the Thunderclamp iRacing Series, sponsored by TLC Incorporated. This has been Grid Vision. We'll see you next time.